Hey there, welcome to the demo on how to set up the audio snapshot exporter in your own project. This demo is for composers who want to include this package in their music packs that they sell or give away on the Unity Asset Store and their own website, I suppose, as well. So the first thing you're going to do is import the project that you got from me, the SFB audio snapshot exporter Unity package. It doesn't have too much stuff in it, so just go ahead and import that. You can import it into your project if you'd like, for your main project if you'd like. You're going to find down here, you've got this SFA Studios folder, an editor script, some fonts, resources, some pictures, and the SFB audio snapshot exporter folder. So since you can't upload this to the asset store, the SFA Studios, I'm going to assume that you have your own folder similar to SFA Studios. I'm going to create it now called Composers folder. So let's say this is your Composers folder. I'm going to have you move all of these four things over into your own folder. You want to move them inside the editor because it also moves the metadata files, so that if somebody already has one of my scripts with the editor in their project, this window right here, or this folder rather, won't be overwritten, and it'll link up with their current editor folder. So you want to move all of those over to your own folder, and then you can delete this SFA Studios folder entirely. Alright, so now that we have this in your folder, you can create a new scene, a demo scene, I guess. So we're going to do that now, and we'll save the scene as, whoops, wrong button, save scene as under the, wherever you save your demo scenes. We'll call this Snapshot Exporter demo, and you can name it whatever you want, and make sure that scene's loaded here. Alright, now I've created a folder called Music here and a subfolder called Forest of Forgotten Souls. That's the song I'm going to work on here, and you can see all the clips in here as well. I'm going to change the view if you don't mind. I like this scroll view better. And so you can see all the different layers here, and you can also see this composer's mix here. This is the actual song itself. And this is the song that has been, the composer I work with, Nathan Cleary, has made his own mix, his personal choice on how he wanted to mix it, and this is his choice. So for users, this is basically the song that you already sell on the asset store, the one that you mixed yourself. And for people who don't want to worry about, playing around with layers and mixing their own sounds, they can use this right off the box. So that's always good to include, and I'm just going to change the name right there to designate that without the underscore, it's the main song. So the next thing we want to do is load up, or create rather, a new audio mixer. So I'm just going to right click here and say create an audio mixer, and I'm going to call this Forest of Forgotten Souls. Pretty simple. And then we're going to load up the audio mixer window. I can just double click on that. It loads up here. You should dock this somewhere. I'm going to actually dock this up here. We're not going to be using the scene view at all. So under the mixer here, we have the master is a default group and just our default snapshot. So I'm going to rename that, just double click it to default. That's my own personal preference. You can do whatever you want there. And what we're going to do is create a new group under master for every single one of these layers. And the thing is, we want to name these. They don't have to be, this one doesn't have to be an exact name, but we should name them after the instrument or layer that it is. So just click the plus button and make sure you select master before you click plus button again. Otherwise it will make children of the children. Alright, now you can see that I've got all of my groups here. They're all laid out here in a mixer. And so that's pretty straightforward how we're going to control the audio, or the volume rather, to remix everything. And so now I need to attach these to the actual clips. So to do that, we're going to go into our hierarchy. We're going to create a new empty object. I'm going to call this Forest of Forgotten Souls editor, and you can name that whatever you want. I suggest naming it part of your song name, especially if you're going to have one scene with lots of different objects like this. And we're going to add a component to this one. If you just, it's going to start out looking like this. If you just start typing SFB, you'll see the SFB Audio Snapshot Exporter. So go ahead and click that. This part right here is the meat and the bones right here, but underneath that there's my little ad. So it's a little thank you for your ability to use this product for free. I do like to showcase my models. If people click here, they'll go to my website. And it's a great looking website with some killer models. So help me out a lot if people do discover my work. And in the same time, I'm hopeful that more of the composers will start allowing users to customize the songs, so that when I make my own game, I can do it as well, because some of your music is really, really good, and I'd love to play with it a little bit. Alright, so now that that's loaded here, I'm going to create a new child for every clip as well here. So I'm going to create the first one here. I'm just going to call this Forest, make sure, Forgotten Souls _ cellos. And so the name has to match the clip name 100%. You can't have a single misspelling or capitalization error, so that's kind of important. Then I'm going to add a component, an audio source, and to the audio source I'm going to bring in the clip for the clip, and for the output I'm going to bring in the output right here. So these are the different groups underneath the mixer caret, and we're just going to assign those to. And then I'm going to copy this object. I'm just going to duplicate it a bunch of times for chimes, choir, and now we're just going to rename these. Alright, and then also add the clips over here and the correct group. There you go. If you want to, you can probably just click up here, maybe expand this a little bit, because they're all in alphabetical order. It might be a little easier to choose them just by clicking rather than dragging. Alright, and there's one last setup we have to do, and that's expose the volume parameters to the script so that users can actually, so that we can actually figure out what the volume is set to. So for each of the layers here in the audio mixer, just click on the group, and then in the inspector, right click on volume and click the expose volume of script or button. So we're going to do that to all of the groups here. Alright, and the last thing, we need to name those. Okay, so click in the audio mixer window up here in the very top right, there's the expose parameters. Just click the first one. You can hit the return button. And again, they're all in alphabetical order. You can see the name here. It disappears when you hit return. But we want to call them the same name as the clips and as these objects over here. You can just use the keys to hit return, arrow key down if that's easier for you than using the mouse. Alright, we are all set up now. So users are now able to create their own snapshots and mix, and when we're ready we can actually export them. So if we go into our editor script right here, and we can actually choose the mixer, we can see here that we're all set to go. And if you go down here and show the script data, this is all the data from the script. We don't have any audio snapshots except for the default, so we can export that if we want, but we're going to hold off for a little bit and then we'll go through all this. So let's create some snapshots here. And this is something that you can show your users how to do in your own tutorial videos. So we're going to go to make sure we have our mixer loaded up here in the audio mixer window, and we're going to just press play. There we go, so we can now hear our music. If you click on the audio mixer tab, one thing you do is click the edit and play mode. Now we can adjust the volume of everything here. One thing to remember, however, is that any changes we make in this mixer right now will be set when we stop playing. So this is real-time edit mode here. So we're going to create a new snapshot. You can just either click the +1 to add a new one, or you can right click and say duplicate. So we're going to call this whatever you want, but I'm going to call it just Alt1 for alternative 1. And now you can edit this however you want. So I'm going to create maybe 2 or 3 edits. Um, and then I'm going to make them slightly different from each other. Alright, when you're done, just press the stop button on the scene there, and you've got your mixes. In the mixer here, you can choose from all of them. You have to press play to hear them, but if you do press play and go back to the mixer, you can just click between them. If you edit in play mode, you can click between them and hear the differences. So let me just play a little bit of each of these so you can hear the differences. Alright, so that's the power of this, is that you can create different sounds, and if you really work at it, you can actually create some songs that really don't sound at all like the original song. Oftentimes I will take away everything but the percussion to create some nice percussion loops that will be great for adventuring and battles and other stuff like that in more stressful situations. In a song like this, I can take down the timpanis and just get a much more relaxing sound. In the end, the way I see it, when a game developer is making a game, they need music that matches the game they want to make, the mood they want. And oftentimes, composers will make some great music, like the composer mix of this song, Forest of Forgotten Souls. But sometimes it doesn't match perfectly with the mood I want to present in my game. Before this type of ability, game developers just had to go with it. Just had to say, okay, well, it's not the perfect song, but it's good enough. Now they can make it a little bit better for their game. So that's the power of this. So let's go ahead and export these now. I'm going to click and select the Forest of Forgotten Souls editor here. Expand this out a little bit. I'm going to reload the audio mixer data, because if you remember correctly, we didn't have the snapshots here. So I'm going to reload the data here. And now we've got the snapshots, so I can hide that data. And whenever if you choose no audio mixer, it won't have any options, but every time you change an audio mixer selection, it will reload the data. So that's just another little thing here. So now there's 2 ways of exporting the snapshots. We can export a custom one right here, and let me show you how you do that. First, you select the snapshot you want to export, so we'll export all 3. And you can rename it whatever you want, so we're going to call it Demo Export. And then just click the Export Select a Snapshot button. It'll take, I don't know, a little bit, maybe 20-30 seconds based on your system. Alright, now you'll find a new folder in the under Assets here, Exported Music, with Forest of Forgotten Souls, and then the song right here. And you can press play and hear it. And for loop songs, you can hear the loop. So it's perfectly looping still. You'll find it to be a very good export. So let's go ahead and export everything at once. I'm just going to delete this, so we don't need that. So if we want to batch export everyone, especially if you've got like 10 or 15 different snapshots, it's much easier to batch export. So you can only do this in play mode. So I'm going to hit play. Doesn't matter what I look at here. This new button comes up here only when we're in play mode. I'm just going to click that. As it exports the songs, you'll actually hear the mixer switch each snapshot. So it's kind of like a tour of your snapshots while you export. Alright, once it's all done, the dialog will go away. You press stop, and you've got all of your exports right here. You can look at the waveform and see that they're all properly exported. So that's all there is to it, really. In your demo scene, you can create one demo scene for every song, or you can create duplicates of this for every single song. It's really, really easy. There's that little setup involved, but once you get the hang of that, it only takes about 5 or 10 minutes per song to get it set up, and then your users can go to town and create so many different sounds that fit their game. So if you have any questions, let me know on the forums or just email me. If I contacted you, then you probably have my email address. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions or any ideas or anything else. So I really hope you decide to adopt this, the idea of using layers to allow users like myself, game developers like myself, to edit your music and remix it to better suit our needs for our games. Um, and I hope that you like this solution I've created for exporting it and want to use this. Having this little visit infinitypbr.com is super helpful. I feel like my work is pretty good, the work we produce. I don't do all of it myself. There's a team of us. I hire out modelers, sometimes texture artists. I do a lot of the texturing myself, animators, composer for the music, Nathan Cleary, and sound designer for the sound, concept artists, and even some programmers to help me with stuff that I can't quite figure out myself. So by adopting this, you're helping me out, you're helping, I believe, the community out, and hopefully your own stuff will become more popular once users are able to do more with it. And once they know that they also get this with it, which is, something for free. So that's cool. All right, have a great day, everyone.